Well, here it is, day one of vacation. And I'm leaving the beautiful mountains of western North Carolina. I know. You said you were going to do the Smoky Mountain 1000. Stay tuned, folks. Well, it's day one of my vacation. And I'm about 15-20 miles away from Damascus, Virginia. I know. That's not on the Smoky Mountain 1000. And you would be correct. I'm making my way to Damascus, Virginia, to jump on the Mid-Atlantic Backcountry Discovery Route. And thanks to Apple Maps, I'm on this incredible road. Don't even know where I'm at, really. Just following the GPS. It's in the Cherokee National Forest. And I did pass a law enforcement officer back there. And the speed limit is kind of slow. But man, oh man, how did I... Woo. Yikes. A little spicy. But yeah, Mid-Atlantic Backcountry Discovery Routes on the agenda. Gonna do a modified route too. As I said in a previous video, I don't have a whole lot of time. Vacation time's been cut short because of some obligations that I want to take care of. So I'm thinking I'm going to run sections 1 and 2. Possibly even section 3, and then jump on the highway and bomb it up north. That way I can start working my way south towards home. And if any time I feel like I'm running close on time to get back for my commitments, then I will jump back on the highway and bomb it home. Yeah, that's the plan. What a road. But yeah, we're now on the Mid-Atlantic Backcountry Discovery Route. Let's see how many times the wrong turn rod strikes today. Well, I got the first right turn. No, I got the first turn right. It was to the left. That skunk is nice. Come on, buzzard. How cool was that? So that didn't take long at all. Exactly 29.7 miles into the Mid-Atlantic Backcountry Discovery Route. Wrong turn rod showed up and made a wrong turn. And there was one gravel road, or maybe two. I did go through the narrows there in Damascus, where the rock face, kind of like a railroad bed from years and years ago. Could have been. Trying not to rush through any of this. Look around and smell the roses. Speaking of which, a whole lot of skunks up through here. Yeah. They smelled nice. But going through these little communities back off the edges of the little towns and such, and just like that, you pop right out, drive over Interstate 81. Let's pay attention, Rod. You got a turn here. Not going straight, that's for sure. Check it out, check it out. Fun, fun, fun. It is windy today. I wasn't expecting that. Lots of wind. But the sun is shining, it's warm, and I'm on a thin line road. I'm about 70 miles into section 1 on a long stretch of gravel road. I don't even know the name of it. I can probably look it up. But this stretch of gravel road has been pretty long, and been some challenging spots, and for the most part it's just a good gravel road. There were sections where they had added some gravel, and it was kind of deep, but no worries. And there was one section there that could have used some gravel that was kind of muddy and soft, but just taking a break, getting some fluids in, eat an apple, eat a snack or something. But it has been an incredible ride so far. Lots of deer on this one. I think I've seen 4 different deer. Let's see, I've seen 4 southbound riders and haven't seen another northbound rider. But all in all, great day to ride, sunshine shining, and these thin line roads are just down my alley. Stopped up there on the top of the mountain to take a break, get some fluids, take a snack in. It's 12:13 now, section 1. And when I turned the bike off, no cell signal. Tried to send a couple of texts, but nope. And when I turned the motorcycle back on, the Gaia app was not working on my TFT display. I don't have my phone plugged in to get the Apple CarPlay working. It's running off of that dongle up there on the, so it's wireless. So either it's not working because I don't have cell service, or we got another issue. So I'm having to do the old peek into the tank bag and look at my phone. I've got it charging off the battery. But I just, as I was sitting there or standing there eating a snack, I noticed how tired I was already. I did leave my home early this morning to get over to Damascus, but that's not it. And could be the consecutive days at work for so long. But I may have to rethink this whole doing sections 1 and 2 in one day. I may have to stop after section 1. We'll have to see. But this mid-Atlantic backcountry discovery route so far has not disappointed at all. We all like the gravel roads and the Forest Service roads, and there was a good amount of pavement so far, but they've been my kind of roads. We're going to keep making our way along. Going through the downtown section of Marion. See if they got their flags and decorations out for the holiday weekend. Wow. Wow, indeed. Looks like they got a cross, flag behind it. Well, this town's gave a lot. Yeah, but Memorial Day isn't a day for veterans. It's a day for to remember those that paid the ultimate price, gave their life for this country. So it's a day of remembrance. Yeah. Downtown Marion is a cool little town. How long's it been since you've seen an Army-Navy store? If that truck wasn't parked there, I'd show you one. Well, this has been a real fun section of lane and a half. What I call lane and a half road. No center line painted on the road. Squiggly line on the GPS, so yeah. I have passed 2 cars on this already. Kind of surprised me in one of the hard corners. So yeah, I'm not going around the corners too fast. Fun stuff, I tell you. Fun stuff. Well, what a little valley here. Stunning. Uh-oh. Oh dear. There's probably another one. Nope. Not another one there. I have seen quite a number of deer. Oh, looky there. Oh, deer again. Oh, little deer too. I don't think the camera's going to get that, but oh, what a tiny little guy. Leave them alone. What a beautiful little deer too. All kinds of beauty out here. Probably said this already, but these are my kind of roads. Bluebird. Well, I'm coming into the Douthit State Park, where I'm going to camp at tonight. Got pretty tired there in section 2 and didn't really record much. Should have stopped after section 1. But come off there after Covington and rode down towards Clifton Forge area, and I'm going into the Douthit State Park. Going to set up my tent, break out my chair, sit my tired butt down, probably go to bed early. I should have never pressed on in section 2. But I do knucklehead things like that from time to time. Why should this trip be any different than the last one? Trying to do too much. Feeling the pressure of that tick-tock of the clock. Maybe I should quit worrying about completing this and just focus on the ride. Well, I'm going to make my way up here, find my campsite. the only one they had left, according to the lady on the telephone. We shall see. It has been a great day. Seen some beautiful countryside, rode some great back roads, rode some awesome gravel roads. I really like the way they put together this BDR. Looking forward to tomorrow. After a handful of Tylenol and a good night's rest. And I also have just about perfected making U-turns with this motorcycle. Because I made several U-turns today because wrong turn Raj. It is what it is. I really like this state park. This will be my third visit. Like the way it's set up. I have no idea which campsite I got. They do have cabins in here, but this being a holiday weekend, I'm sure there's no cabins available. That's good. Nope, that ain't it. I think she said the restaurant's closed earlier, and didn't make much sense to me, but I was looking forward to eating at their restaurant in here. But just the same, I brought enough food to fix a meal or two. Guess that's what we'll do. Did I tell you I was tired? What an idiot. Let's go get checked in here. So this is the part of the trip that I call adventure. Disaster narrowly averted. I left Douthit State Park by 8 o'clock. And I was making my way back to Covington, Virginia to pick up Section 3 and continue north. But previously to the trip, I'd been listening to a podcast. And on this podcast, they were interviewing a man, and this man was talking about some adventure. And he defined adventure as disaster narrowly averted. And day 2 of my mid-Atlantic backcountry discovery route could have been a disaster, but I guess that's why we call it adventure. But I made my way back to Covington, stopped at a fuel station, filled up the gas tank, filled up my water bladder, and while I was there, I was kind of checking over the bike, and that's when I noticed the cut on the rear tire. Now, was really concerned because I just, at that moment realized, hey, this is a holiday weekend. This may be a problem. So I broke out my phone and I started looking, started making phone calls even before shops were open. But I ran into the issue of several shops were closed. And then I ran into the issue that early in the day I was looking for a proper ADV tire, and I was thinking this isn't going to be too big of an issue, I'll find a tire. And as the day went on, I was realizing either they didn't have a tire in stock my size, the shop wasn't going to be open until Tuesday, things were getting a little bit concerning. And I was riding around the area north, right around Covington. I think I made my way all the way over to
Staunton in Waynesboro. But anyway, I realized about lunchtime that this is real bad. And I fumbled around and I looked for, using Google, and my cell phone was looking for a motorcycle shop with a tire, any tire by then. And that's when I decided I needed to call in reinforcements. And so I called Moto Ramblings and asked him to search for an open shop with a tire or any tire that was in stock that would fit my motorcycle. And by then I decided, I need to start heading south, because if this tire goes completely, I'm going to be, faced with taking the tire off, patching the inside of the tire, putting my spare tube in. All of that takes time, especially on the side of the road. It's never no fun on the side of the road, much less anywhere. Motor Ramblings was supposed to be on this trip, but with the schedule changes that I had over the course of the 2 weeks prior to starting this trip, and the changes I made, I was going to do the Smoky Mountain 1000, and I changed at the very last minute. I'm doing the MABDR. His schedule no longer worked out. So I called him. He's looking on Google. He's looking between, Covington south, and I was riding south. Now, that wasn't the most pleasant experience because, I'm got this cut tire in my mind and just expecting it at any moment to go down. So I'm in the right lane, slower than the rest of the traffic on a holiday weekend. They're trying to get from point A to point B. Yeah, it was no fun. But Motor Ramblings was able to find an open shop with a tire, and they told me if I got there before they closed, they'd be more than glad to take care of me. It was a long, long ways from the current position I was in. So I was in hurry-up mode with a compromised tire on a busy holiday weekend and thinking there's not a chance that I'm going to make it there. It was nearly 200 miles south from Covington all the way into Johnson City, Tennessee. And I pulled into Jim's Motorcycles in Johnson City, Tennessee 25 minutes before they were closing for the Memorial weekend. They stayed open late. The man that changed my tire, his name was Charlie. He grumbled about it a little bit, but they changed my tire and stayed over late just to get me back on the road. I can't say enough good things about Jim's Motorcycle, and it really made a difference as far as I probably could have made it on into my home, but I was fatigued from white knuckling and waiting for that tire to go down. Jim's Motorcycle is in Johnson City, Tennessee. If you're ever over in that area, I highly recommend them. I did get a MotoZ Tractionator. I think that's the tire I got. I've put a few miles on that tire going home, and I can't say enough good things about it. But how do you define adventure? According to this guy on the podcast, it's disaster narrowly averted. Could have been disaster for me. If that tire would have went down at me running highway speeds, even with a tube tire, I would have had a little bit of time to get to the shoulder of the road, but could have been disaster. So I learned a few things on this trip. Number one, I'm not going to do any more adventure trips on holiday weekends. Number two, I'm going to start bringing someone else along with me, simply because misery loves. The biggest thing I'm going to take away from it is don't rush through trips like this. Those first two sections of the MABDR, while they weren't no technical off-road riding, they was gravel roads, Forest Service roads. But the other roads, the paved roads, what I call a lane and a half roads, went through some beautiful areas. So I highly recommend don't bluster through just to get through it. Take time to stop and smell the roses. And number 4, I've got a new motorcycle shop. Jim's Motorcycle in Johnson City isn't too far from my home, and I figure I still owe them big time. Yeah, I really shuddered at the idea of having to camp out behind a convenience store somewhere because all the campgrounds were full. But yeah, Mid-Atlantic backcountry discovery route, I'll be back. I think we're already penciling in October. If you can, get out and ride. And if you can, ride a thin line road.